For some athletes, there's no trial and error. It's all trial and success. Martina Hingis arrived with a swagger and a smile and played the game with an imperious air, an unheard-of flair. She had no notable work ethic. Martina said she was a player, not a worker. And for a long time, that worked. She could play below the rim and dominate, with mental acuity, sublime touch, and swings that moved beyond the imagination of her opponents. But over the years, there's been a seismic shift in women's tennis. The best players no longer dominate with mental strength. Brute force set in on Hingis, and the power players pounded the craft and happy arrogance out of her game. Her haughtiness was gone. Worried and wounded, Hingis was shaken by an inner wind and walked away. But the winds have changed. Injuries and apathy have settled in on the players who had driven out Martina, who'd never stopped observing the scene. So she's back, looking fitter and focused, clearly enjoying being part of the conversation once more. And if her game lacks the wattage of her peers, her mind still illuminates the keen difference between power and purpose. Martina still feels she has something left to say, and perhaps her return will inspire others to take another look at their time as athletes and know that it's never too late to be what you might have been.
End of a beautiful Monday, much cooler at Melbourne Park. You're looking at Rod Laver Stadium, the main show court. 15,000 fans to see a most attractive match. Martina Hingis and the Aussie 21-year-old Samantha Stosur. And you know the fans of Australia will be full in the corner of Stosur as now they make their first appearance. And Martina Hingis, how many of us wondered if we'd ever see her intelligent game again on the ATP Tour, absent for 3 years, against this young woman, 21 years of age, outstanding doubles player, one of the best in the world, and she has advanced to the round of 16, her best ever Grand Slam effort. And you know the nerves must be boiling inside that young woman as she plays the woman with 40 career titles and 5 Grand Slam titles. Mary Carrillo, I know your wonderful piece that introduced our show tonight, how much you embrace the kind of game that Hingis brings to us.
I loved watching her play, and I really felt badly, Dick, that Hingis left the game, and it has really been gone for over 3 years now. To see her come back, to see her play her sublime brand of thinking tennis, just like her fellow Swiss, Roger Federer, it's wonderful to have her back, and I think a lot of us are surprised that she's been able to already win rounds in her first major back since 2002.
Yeah, isn't that something? Historically, we have to go back 4 full years for the last time that Martina Hingis was in a Grand Slam final. And that was right here in Melbourne as she played Jennifer Capriati and appeared to be on her way to her 4th Australian Open title. Won the first set, led 4-love in the second, and then it collapsed. She had 4 match points, and on came the American Capriati.
This was really something. Capriati had beaten Hingis in the final the year before at the Australian Open. After that second set tiebreak, both players needed a 10-minute break on this incredibly scorching day. Ice bags and everything else before they finally came out again. Capriati in one of the great comebacks ever. 6-2 in the third, and she won that one. And, you know, Martina Hingis, that was the last time she's been in a Grand Slam final.
She made it to the quarters or the round of 16 at the U.S. Open, but now there's talk. It's hard to believe. A week ago, someone would have said Martina Hingis might go deep into the second week, maybe even challenge for another Grand Slam championship. Well, You're one that believes that she can go beyond this point.
I really do. I really think that that's how she's playing. What she's done, she played a couple of tune-up tournaments, and Justine and Ardennes beat her pretty badly. But what she has done just since that loss is take the ball a lot earlier. She's not giving away as much court as she did against Justine. She's already making all those canny little adjustments that we all enjoy watching her make so much. She never had to play Mary Pierce, who was in her section of the draw, because Pierce got bounced out. Sam Stosur, she's good. She's young, and she's got a lot of game. She's got a big serve. She's big off the ground. She moves pretty well. But, Hingis does a very good job of figuring out what somebody likes to do, what somebody doesn't like to do, and working her way into it. And, of course, she has so much more experience than her Aussie opponent.
40 career titles, 5 of those slams. The sentimental vote around the world, certainly in the camp of Martina Hingis. But the cheers tonight will be for Australia's Stosur.
I'm becoming more of a believer in this comeback.
I'm thinking I'm going to find myself into the second week of this tournament. I had definitely a lot of doubts, but I'm trying to overcome this, and with every match I'm gaining confidence. I'm down there. I tried to be a good actress.
How great is that?
Terrific.
The last couple matches, I've almost felt like I went into it as a favorite. Coming along into the second week of the Grand Slam, it just feels great.
He's going to scare the daylights out of whoever is left ahead of her.
Mike and Mike in the morning, followed by Cold Pizza, a brand new morning lineup on ESPN2.
Wherever you want to go, the Acura RL.
You could have chosen lipo over leg lifts. You could have chosen injections over expressions. You could have followed the latest trend and had an eye lift. But you didn't. You used Regenerist Eye from Olay. It regenerates skin's appearance in all 3 zones for firmer lids, smoother corners, more toned under eyes, visibly lifting and brightening without drastic measures. Because you couldn't see it any other way. Regenerist Eye from Olay. Love the skin you're in.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of the 2006 Australian Open. Brought to you by United. It's time to fly.
Out in Garden Square, fans enjoying the large screen television and delightful weather conditions after the torment of the furnace-style heat of the weekend. Temperature down to 70 degrees, some strong winds today, but it is not a major factor as we are indoors, roof open at Rod Laver Arena tonight. The most attractive matchup in this round of 16, with the winner advancing against Kim Clijsters, victorious earlier today, as you saw on ESPN2. Stosur is just 21, terrific doubles player. She won the mixed doubles here a year ago and the doubles final at the U.S. Open with Lisa Raymond, with whom she is partnered again in this championship, and they're still very much a major factor, in fact, the #1 seeds. And her gallery of friends from Sydney, the Smash'em Sams, they'll be leading the cheers, organizing, as you might imagine now, their support for Samantha Stosur. But this entire nation of Australia will be tuned in tonight, rooting for this young woman against Martina Hingis.
She's had a pretty easy time of it. The big surprise was how well she played against Ana Ivanovic, who's a player we've been talking about for the last couple of years. He handled her in 3 sets. Then her nerves I thought that her nerves were really showing in her match in the last round against a relative unknown bomber, an awful lot of unforced errors. And Gigi Fernandez, who's been coaching Stosur since the end of last year, is hoping that she doesn't give away so many points tonight against Martina Hingis, one of the stingiest of all the players in the unforced errors department.
No, that's right. She dismissed Benesova, only 12 unforced errors. And follow your point on the bomber match for Stosur. She committed 49 unforced and still was able to manage the win. Hingis, of course, born in Slovakia, moved to Switzerland at age 8 with her mother, who is her longtime coach, Melanie Molitor. And 47-5, her Australian Open record, 3 titles. She has 47 match wins. That's second only to Lindsay Davenport in the Open era. Davenport, the #1 seed here, has won 54 matches.
You can see through the first 3 rounds, she's only lost 10 games, and such beautifully clean numbers from Hingis. Her winner's unforced error ratio, boy, it takes you back, doesn't it?
Time, just that 3 years just disappeared, didn't it? I mean, many wondered, will we ever see her again? She played a little team tennis, and that inspired her. She said, I can beat the kids that are 80s and ranked 100. Maybe I can do even better than that. And we'll see tonight as Stosur will challenge in the round of 16. She has to be nervous. The weight of representing a country that has not had a female champion of their own event in 28 years. Chris O'Neill won it back in 1978 as an unseeded player, as is Stosur. In fact, it's rare, round of 16, both women unseeded. Fans settling in, carrying the colors of this tennis-happy country.
Here's what we've been talking about. The way Martina Hingis has traveled through the draw has been so clean, so economical. She's only been on this court a couple of hours, and you can see only 32 unforced errors through her first 3 rounds. And if you compare that against the numbers that Stosur has put up, you've got to assume that Hingis is going to be able to get a lot of errors from her young opponent.
Stosur is an outstanding doubles player. She likes to come to net. We'll see how much she attacks. The first bounce lands on Hingis's in her favor.
Just to compare, in just the last match that Stosur played, she had more errors in 1 match than Hingis has committed in 3.
And Mary, the confusion, I think, for fans around the country and the world, for that matter, is that Hingis, as you pointed out in your preview piece, overpowered by the strong young women that have entered the sport in the last 5-7 years. How is it that when she couldn't hit with them 3 years ago that she's now being able to manage now?
Well, she still hasn't faced a player, like Davenport and like the Williams sisters, Capriati. But Dick, she's so much fitter than she was when she left the game. And an easy hole for Martina Hingis to get on the board and start things. She's much fitter. In the last year she played, she had some foot problems, some ankle injuries as well. And she had just lost so much confidence. It really showed up in her serving. And she was getting busted almost every time against any opponent. So her comeback, there's nothing half-baked about it. I mean, I've never seen her look this fit. And she's taking the ball early. Her serve is still her liability. And I'm sure people will try to start going after it. But, she wouldn't have made a comeback if she didn't think she could compete at the very highest level.
Now Stosur's first turn on the line. The Gold Coast, born in Brisbane, Australia. Good serve. She has a heavy first serve. Stosur without a singles title compared to her opponent's 40. But she won 7 doubles titles last year.
Some errors from Hingis, so she's nervous too.
Totally in control of that point until the final stroke. Alicia Malik made it to the round of 16 a year ago and played so beautifully, but ear virus has sidelined her. So this woman, Samantha Stosur, carrying the Australian banner. He's got his finger on the pulse down on courtside. Let's go to Luke Jensen.
Dick, I'll tell you, the atmosphere is electric right now. You can really feel just how happy these Aussies are to watch an Aussie playing here in the Rocket Arena. The biggest thing that the coach told me, Gigi Fernandez of Stosur, was that she has to keep the ball deep. If she keeps the ball deep, puts Hingis on the defensive, she's going to be in business.
Gigi Fernandez, the winner of 17 Grand Slam doubles, a couple of Olympic gold medals.
With our own Mary Jo Fernandez, 92 and 96.
Net cord for Stosur.
Well, the backhand is definitely the weaker side of Stosur's, and I agree with Gigi that Stosur has to keep the ball deep, but more than that, I think Stosur has to keep the points short.
It looks as if Gigi is frustrated that she's not following my coaching instructions. What's she doing?
Well, here's the thing. Stosur's obviously a jock. You could just look at her. She's fit, and she's fast, and she's got a lot of game, and she moves well, but she doesn't hit well on the run. You know, not yet. She kind of sprays the ball around, and Hingis, who has actually faced her before, though it was only one set, World Team Tennis smash hits, and Stosur beat her there. So Hingis knows already what Sam Stosur likes to do and doesn't like to do. 14-15.
Lisa Raymond, her doubles partner.
Well, Gigi Fernandez was coaching Lisa Raymond and Stubbsy, Renee Stubbs last year, and then that team broke up, and so that's how she got to be coaching this woman, because now Lisa and Stosur are a doubles team. And they are one of the favorites to win here in dubs.
We're underway, round of 16 at 2-1.
When you're on the road, there's only one way to get the new Trio with Windows Mobile. It's the network. Only Verizon Wireless has the new Trio 700W smartphone, the first Trio to run mobile versions of Microsoft applications just like your PC. All on Broadband Access, the nation's largest high-speed wireless broadband network. Now at a great price.
Go get him.
Thanks.
Verizon Wireless. It's the network.
Have you guys seen my easy button?
You can use mine.
Use your easy button to find my easy button?
Won't that, like, tear a hole in the universe?
What's the worst that could happen?
That's the worst that could happen.
Just hit it.
Okay.
See, there it is.
Where's Steve?
Want to get organized this year? From filing and storage to security and tax software, Staples has everything you need. Staples, that was easy.
The Australian Open, the first Grand Slam championship, moving into its second week. The title chase has begun. Kim Kleister's down in the bottom of this half. Victorious today. A tough match against Francesca Schiavone, and meets the winner of this one in the quarterfinals.
Patty Schneider had an easy win over Anastasia Meskina, and Mauresmo an even easier win over young Nicole Vidasova.
Good job by Stosur. She had Hingis pinned deep throughout that rally.
Oh, that's so clever. It was a tough first volley by Stosur, but she was up so tight to the net that Hingis made her pay.
Yeah, she's always had that shot, even when she was 15, 16. Youngest ever to be #1 in the Open era. Tony Stosur, father of Samantha. Queenslander. That's what you talked about, Mary, crafting the point.
Stosur's pretty quick. She picked up on this shot well. But Hingis was still in play. A good position to end it.
Another point for 2-all. Stosur has the more potent serve, but the longer the rally favors Hingis.
I really think that's true, and Hingis is already moving the ball around, changing the contact point on Sam. It's not that Martina Hingis is going to hit that many winners in this match, but she's going to induce a lot of unforced errors. And that's Sam's biggest problem at this stage in her young career.
And there's her 8th unforced error. Only 4 games, and it gives Hingis the initial break point in the match. Racing the break point. That looping forehand with such terrific control deep in the corner.
I really think Hingis' backhand is still a better shot than her forehand, Dick, but her forehand down the line is my very favorite of all of her shots. If she gets to hit that one, she's in control of the point.
And another break point. And the early lead to Martina Hingis, 3-1.
You were asking what sent Hingis out of the game and what she can do differently now. That forehand down the line of hers, after a while, it was going into these huge backhands of Capriati, of Davenport, the Williams sisters. It wasn't working for her anymore. Isn't it nice to see that she's an active player again?
That's right.
She's been recommissioned.
That should be in bold print. Active player. She makes it look so simple.
Yeah. And again, just like Roger Federer, she not only hits a shot, she follows it in. She follows it to its logical conclusion, and her movement, as well as the shot she hits, is creating pressure because you're reacting to both in trying to reply.
Women hitting the baseline in that rally.
And she went from hitting the very back of the baseline to hitting that little dropper. That forehand's pretty reliable when Stosur's not moving. And she's set up and can hit that off forehand, her best shot.
Fifth unforced error from Hingis' end. 9 for Stosur here in the first set.
Wow, that's a nice smash. And a good recovery. It looked like this was Hingis' game with an easy hold, and now it's back to deuce. Hingis normally finds the backhand side when she puts up a defensive lob like that. Some nice footwork there from Stosur. Oh, yes.
There's the forehand. Wow, I saw you smiling.
It just reminds me, so much of what she does reminds me of Federer. And how disheartening it must be to see somebody just pull off a winner like that. She tried to do to Hingis what Hingis has done so well to her so early in this match.
Hingis secures her lead, 4-1.
Each year, 1 out of every 3 seniors over 65 will have a serious fall. Even with a phone in every room, the chance of reaching one of them in a fall emergency is less than 10%. But Life Alert can get you help fast, even when you cannot reach a phone.
When you have a heart attack like I did, and there's no one there, Life Alert was there for me.
Because of Life Alert, I have the ability to not feel alone, and my independence is possible because of it.
Life Alert can also be a great alternative to a retirement home.
I couldn't handle the alternative of going to a nursing home. If it wasn't for my Life Alert, that's where I'd be.
Thanks to Life Alert, you can live alone without ever being alone. And that's why I wear one.
Please call 1-800-469-1500 for free information about Life Alert. That's 1-800-469-1500, or visit us on the web at the address on your screen. Don't delay. Call us now at 1-800-469-1500.
This month, Comcast kicks into high gear.
And he's got it. Touchdown.
NFL Network On Demand brings you NFL Replay, extended highlights from every NFL game every week. Catch extended NBA game highlights and top 10 plays the very next day with NBA Replay. NHL On Demand puts the fans' ice level with the top 10 spectacular goals and thundering checks. Just a few of the thousands of free shows, yours on demand with Comcast Digital Cable.
I'm not coming back to play on Court 17.
Yeah, I like that too.
On the WTA Tour, as she has announced that she is back as a star performer, at least based on what we've seen so far.
She made Mary Jo Fernandez laugh right before the tournament started. Mary Jo said, well, you've had good memories here. She said, I'm defending my 2002 final.
Yeah, but she's always had the moxie. Already down a break. Love 30, Stosur.
6 straight finals. In 97, she beat Mary Pierce. In 98, she beat Conchita Martinez. She beat Maresmo in 99. Davenport beat her in 2000. And, of course, 2001 and 2002, it was Capriati.
Well, I know many of our fans back in the States, you mentioned Jennifer Capriati. Will we see her on a comeback?
You know, we'd heard, Dick, that she was going to try to come back in Miami, the NASDAQ 100, but she's told our buddies at Tennis Week that's not true. She's still not fit enough. I had heard last summer that she was going to try to perhaps play the New Haven event before the U.S. Open. That didn't happen either. So Jennifer's had some bad luck, some shoulder problems, some wrist problems as well.
And here's a problem spot for Samantha Stosur. Down a break at 1-4 and triple break point against. All but would decide this opening set for Hingis. And there's the break at love. 5-1. Hingis serves for the opening set. She has made it, Hingis, look remarkably easy. She shocked me. I didn't think she could come back at this level.
You don't see that much from Hingis. You know, we were all working together at Wimbledon last year. Martina worked for us here at ESPN.
Yeah, she had enough of us that I better go back and play.
This stinks. No, but I would be watching matches with Hingis. I'd be watching matches with her, and I'd say, come on, you can beat this, babe. You would kill this chick. Like, and I kept goading her. And she played a summer She played a summer World Team Tennis. And not only did she play against some pretty good players, she got to practice against the guys. And that's a huge, that's a great experience for her. She played very well in singles, doubles, and mixed. It's just one set, no ad, which might not sound like much, except that you play pressure points all the time. She loved the experience. She was the MVP of the league. And that's when she knew, you know what, I really still like this stuff. I'm still pretty good at this.
Couple of set points.
Played with John McEnroe. The New York Sport Times was the name of their team. She got to play with him. And she was every bit as noisy and into it on the sidelines as she was on the court.
Like so many great athletes, exudes pride in what she does, and she has executed a 6-1 early lead.